What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by as ever. I really appreciate it. Just wanted to have a little quick weekend catch up with you. Obviously, I did the last video, which was a bit of a smushy, me being eternally happy video, which was very true. But I just obviously wanted to touch base with you. Again, just reference a couple of things, obviously, that have gone on this week. So Wales doing really well in their qualifier against Finland. Dan James getting a very, very nice goal. You forget how quick Dan James is, actually, overall, for his actual goal itself. Just it's almost like he's got like a 6th or 7th gear that just clicks into place and off he goes, and he just goes away and scores a goal. Really, really good finish as well. And I think there's a lot to be said for Dan James in the way that he's playing at the moment. Ampadu had a really good game as well. Roberts played well. We need to talk about Archie Gray. You couldn't write it. You genuinely couldn't write it with Archie Gray, because he comes on and within 5 minutes of coming on, he's scoring his first goal for the under-21s. And it was just looking at it and the way that it was built, it was just such a lovely, accomplished finish in terms of just the skill to finish it. And obviously there's a lot to be said with regards to the opposition and everything, but you have to make your own luck. You have to be in it to win it. You have to be, on the or in and around to actually make that work and make that finish. And I swear this boy is, for me, he's generational. He's going to be phenomenally good. And I'm so pleased for him in terms of how he's doing, the goals that he's scoring for England, his performances for the club, just unbelievably good. And what a season, he is having. And this is what you would term as a major breakthrough season. And he just constantly looks head and shoulders above the rest. There's not a lot else you can say about him in terms of how he plays and what he does. Gruev did well in his game. Bulgaria winning 1-0, I believe. He played the 90 minutes in that game and had a good game by all accounts. And Gnonto did very well. Played 86 minutes, I believe, and had captained the under-21s as well, which is probably an absolute honour for him and richly deserved. His performances have deserved that. A lot of people were saying, why is he not in the full, in the full squad? But the under-21s desperately want to qualify, and having Gnonto in their side makes that, much more of an achievable target for them to do. So, fair play to him. He gets on with it. He does it. And he's had a couple of interviews recently as well. And I just want to highlight this, where he has said a lot about Farke and in terms of Farke's man management. And I think Willie will be the first to, stand up and hold his hand up and say that at the beginning of the season, apart from him being poorly advised and everything and all of that kind of stuff, but just his petulance, and I don't think it's wrong to use that word, his petulance at the start of the season wasn't warranted and was dealt with as it should be. And you get the sense that in terms of what Farke has said and done with him has been the absolute perfect way of doing it. Willie's said himself previously that obviously he wasn't in the right headspace at the start of this year. He was very, very sad. He was very down because he'd obviously made mistakes in terms of where he is, what he's doing, how he's doing it, etc., so on and so forth. So I understand that. But he's obviously said in terms of what Farke does, in terms of the man management side of stuff, if you are not doing something right, it's not that Farke will come in like a steam train and absolutely ruin you. What he does is he'll say, look, you're doing this wrong, but what I need you to do is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and that should bring it out a little bit more. Get your head down, knuckle down, and it should come right. And then when you're doing it right, he'll praise you for it and he'll say the right things, but he won't let you get carried away with the situation is what I'm kind of getting from everybody, but specifically through this interview that Gnonto gave. And then the other part of it as well is that he gives a really, really strong mention to Patrick Bamford and what Patrick Bamford actually brings to the team. And he says, you know, with runs and movement and all of that kind of stuff, and how much of a key player he is to us and in the way that we play. And this is something that I wanted to talk about. I just feel like sometimes that's something that's just not seen or not taken into consideration is what Bamford actually brings to the squad and in terms of what he actually does. Yes, he scored some goals, which is great, phenomenal. We take that all day long. But it's the other stuff that he does. And I made a point again of watching him when I was at at Ellen Road watching the Millwall game. He is an absolute nightmare to play against because he's on you constantly. He's leaning into you. He's making runs, making moves. And if you look at the goal that Gnonto scored against Millwall, all of that comes into play. Even though he doesn't get the ball, he occupies their central defender, Cooper, who should have been sent off, by the way, but you know we've talked about that. But he occupies their central defender, making it impossible for him to get the ball. The ball then bounces, which then gives Rutter the opportunity to then play the ball through onto Gnonto. Gnonto then comes in, cuts inside to the centre of the 18-yard box, and Bamford makes a brilliant run across the defenders, which just opens up the space, but then also makes the keeper be unsighted for when the shot comes in. And if you look at Gnonto throughout that entire situation, he doesn't look at the goal once. He doesn't look at the goal once. He just absolutely pings it, and it's a beautiful shot. We know that. But that is in terms of Bamford overall and what he does and what he brings to the team. It's not just his goal contribution. It's his actual number 9 play. It's the holding up of the ball. It's the laying off of balls. It's the occupation of the defenders. It's the making the runs, moving defenders, creating space, which allows us to play the way that we play. And that was also evident with Bielsa as well, in terms of how Bielsa's style of play and how he wanted us to play. You can utilise Bamford in that same way as well, and it allows us to play how we like to play. It gives Rutter that space, it gives Somerville the space, it gives either Gnonto or James the space to do what they need to do and to then be able to make stuff happen and score the goals. And that's, for me, that's the real big thing with Bamford. Bamford does make the team better. There is no two ways about that. He absolutely makes the team better on that basis. And like I said, he's an absolute pest to play against. And he's a lot stronger than what people actually think he is, in my opinion. But yeah, that's just it. That's just what I wanted to say. That redemption arc for Gnonto as well has been really, really great to see. And we've said it before, just the different players peaking at the right sort of times. Dan James being able to be brought on and scoring goals. Anthony being able to come on and involving and being instrumental in the play for the Dan James goal against Millwall. Things are correct as they should be at this moment in time, and I just want to see it continue. Yeah, we probably don't want the international break. Yeah, some of our players are miles and miles away having to play international games, but I think the break and just moving away from what is the constant bombardment of the Championship just for 10 or 12 days isn't going to be the worst thing at all. And obviously we go again Friday night, and we have to wait and see what we can pull off and what we can do. Hopefully it's another 3 points, but we'll look into that a little bit more. That's it. Just wanted to have a little quick chat with you, just with regards to a couple of things. And yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. If you've got any comments that you want to make, feel free, leave them in the comment section down below. And yeah, thank you for stopping by as ever. I really do appreciate it. I hope you are all well, and we will no doubt speak again soon. Take care.